Sebastian Daily. We just did a live broadcast and we forgot to turn our mics on. So for those that watched our previous broadcast, we apologize. Mistakes happen, but I always guarantee you that if we mess up, we'll do the whole thing over again, and that's what we're doing. Tonight's low is going to be about 76 degrees, and we got some scattered showers that's in the forecast for tomorrow, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Showers on and off. The highs are going to be reaching 90 degrees, overnight lows near 76. We have a tropic update. We have a tropical wave in the Gulf right now that's moving west and northwest at the moment. So that's going to bring us some rain, of course. Nothing to worry about as far as that. There's a 70% chance of development within the next 24 to 48 hours. So this tropical wave could turn into a tropical storm. And in the Atlantic, there's Tropical Storm Gonzalo. He or she is moving west at 14 miles per hour with maximum sustained winds of 50 miles per hour. So far, that's a very small cyclone. It kind of reminds the forecasters of Matthew, of it being so small. But it's a small storm that's slowly building, and the current track that we saw was it's heading west through the Caribbean and going a little bit northwest near Cuba. It hasn't shown anything about Florida yet. We're keeping an eye on it. Right now, there's no threat to Florida mainland with this storm. We're going to keep an eye on it tonight as well as all day tomorrow, and we'll do another report on that storm tomorrow afternoon. So that is one to watch. That is one to watch. But as of right now, there's nothing to worry about. The forecasters say that an impact to our area is unlikely at this current time, so we'll see what happens in the days to come. And by the way, we're at City Hall because there's a city council meeting tonight at 6 o'clock. Just thought I'd let you know. Our leading story going on in Sebastian right now, an 18-year-old barefoot Bay man shot and killed a 17-year-old in Palm Bay on Sunday. Police say that Hunter Smerado shot Devin Bryan during an altercation. Bryan was later pronounced dead at a local hospital. Smerado's mother and sister were also arrested after they tried to help him leave town. The sister took a jacket and covered his face and hid him in the car and was going to take him out of town. While the mother took the murder weapon and hid it near some railroad tracks near Mickle Road. It's a crazy story. It did happen. And all three of them are in jail right now. The sister and the mother have bonds, and he has no bond. So the police tell us they're not releasing any information about what the motive was on this, and as soon as we find out, we will report it. The Sebastian Police Department will receive 3 bullet and stab protective gear for canines, their vests. In the next few weeks, they will receive the protective equipment through a non-profit organization called Vested Interest in Canines. Now, the mission of Vested Interest in Canines is to provide stab and bullet protective vests along with other assistance to dogs of law enforcement throughout the country. The city of Sebastian will close portion of Riverview Park beginning on Monday, July 27th, for 3 weeks. Brian Benton, Leisure Services Director, told Sebastian Daily Today the closure will involve removal and replacement of the sidewalk within the park. Benton says the project is part of the city's Riverview Park Master Plan and Tree Protective Plan. The sidewalks around most areas of the park will be replaced. The public restrooms will be closed during this time, as well as the children's playground and the water fountain. That whole area will be under construction for the next 3 weeks, beginning Monday. Riverview Park will remain open in other areas, such as the large pavilions. So that's good. You can still go to the park, you just can't be in the way of the construction that's going on of them replacing the sidewalks. Um, okay, we have some coronavirus updates here. There's one new COVID-19 related death in Indian River County, and the patient was 38 years old. These patients are getting younger and younger now because more and more people in their 20s and 30s are testing positive for COVID-19. Yesterday, there were 9,700 new cases in Florida. Let's take a look at some local numbers. Now, our local numbers went up a little bit, not a lot. They're still climbing, but they're not a lot this week. This week we're seeing not as a lot of, as many new cases as we've seen. It's starting to. I'll give you an example. Sebastian, 174. A few days ago was 171. So it went up by 3 in a few days. So they're starting to climb still slowly, but not rapidly like we saw last week. Last week it just went from 159 to boom, 170. Fellsmere, 311 cases. They were 304. Palm Bay, 928. Malabar, 25. Grant, 15. Barefoot Bay and Mico, 11. Wabasso, 6. Vero Beach, 1,144. Indian River County coronavirus cases, 1,700. 28 deaths and 123 people admitted to the hospital. Brevard County, 4,600 cases, 58 deaths, 305 people admitted to the hospital. Florida, the whole state, 396,000 cases, 5,400 deaths, 9,500 are currently in the hospital, 9,500, and 1.2 million people have tested negative. Across the state, the ICU beds are becoming less and less. I think there's 962 ICU beds. Last week there were 1,200, so we got to keep an eye on that. There's more people in the hospital. Now listen, there's no need to panic over these numbers. We just got to do what the CDC says. We got to wear our mask in stores and gatherings where we can't social distance up to 6 feet, and we got to wash our hands regularly. Social distancing is the main thing. That's the biggest thing we have to do to slow this COVID-19 down. We got to stop the spread somehow. It's not working on what we were doing prior. We can do it by wearing that mask. Other states that made it mandatory to wear a mask, their numbers are all dropping. It's a new study that shows that even Massachusetts is dropping. So because of the mask, and whether you agree with it or not, there's facts on both sides, of the mask issue. So the bottom line is, if we want to get back to work, there's a lot of people out of work right now in Sebastian. If we want to get back to our normal lives, because we can still have a normal life and with this virus if the numbers are low. And to do that, we got to slow the spread down. And then Florida can reopen. We can get back to our normal living. So let's try this for a couple of weeks. Put the mask on. Let's see what happens. Nothing else is working right now. So let's see what happens. I wear my mask in the stores, Publix and Walmart. They're making it mandatory now to wear them. And Winn-Dixie has joined that as well. So let's just see what happens. We've got to stay safe. And like I said, there's no need to worry about the numbers. Everybody knows we're in the middle of a pandemic. Sometimes I think people forget. So let's do what the CDC says, and let's get this past us, and let's get on with our lives. We've got the holidays coming up in a few months. We don't want to continue, in isolation with all of this. So, let's stop the spread. And that's it. Hey, for more news, go to our website, sebastiandaily.com. That has all the latest headlines going on around in Sebastian. And while you're there, click on newsletter, which is at the top, and subscribe to our newsletter. You'll get local news in your email, and we're also giving away a $50 gift certificate for Las Palmas Restaurant. So we'll have more details about that coming tomorrow. My name is Andy Hodges. I'm coming to you live at City Hall for Sebastian Daily.